Today we have a great question of how to love yourself after a breakup. I have so many tools and ideas that I'm going to share from my experience for helping people with coaching. And I remember one relationship where I was the one that decided to end the relationship. I was the one that broke up with her. But it took me over a year, to be honest, to kind of, like they say, get over it, I guess, or move on, or however you want to phrase it. It was strange because it was my decision. But I was so hurt. I was in so much pain and I couldn't understand what was going on. And I remember when there was a lot going on, and my birthday was coming up, but something happened with my grandmother. She quickly got worse. She was dying, and at the time I couldn't go. I couldn't travel for that long, and the money and everything was too much for me to travel back to Uruguay, where I'm from. So my dad went there. My birthday was coming up. My sister was in Cornell University at the time. So it was just my mother and I, and we decided to go see my sister because of the fact that, it was my birthday and we were all far away. We were all so far away that we went there. It was beautiful that at least we got to see my sister. We got to spend time together. But it was a crappy experience for me because it was my birthday. It was my day, and it felt like... And on the way back, we were driving back with my mother, and I was just complaining and telling her about my experience and this and that, and I kept bringing up my girlfriend. And my mother was like, Gonzalo, like, you broke up with her. You decided to break up with her. And the other stuff that I kept... And she did it in a very compassionate way, which I am so grateful for. But she woke me up to the reality that I was complaining, and she told me, like, Gonzalo, you're not the only one struggling right now. Your dad is in Uruguay, his mother's dying, your sister's here by herself, we're all set. Like, there was so much going on. And I realized how I was I compassionately call this the victim place. Victim mindset, whatever you want to call it. And I don't mean that harshly because it can sound very harsh. But I thought, like, why me and me and me and me, and just thinking about, oh, I'm going through so much, and why me? Why is this happening to me? And just me. But I needed to go through that. And then I needed my mother to very beautifully wake me up to the reality that I was stuck very deeply in that victim place. Here's what happened. When I broke up with her and that relationship ended, we had been together for a while, and I kind of couldn't see myself. It was a weird change. Like, I'm on my own right now by myself. I feel so lonely, and so much came up. So much was coming up. So many painful emotions, so many scary thoughts and emotions and anxiety. Like, am I gonna find someone else? And so many fears and so many worries all the time, that everything happened exactly how it needed to happen for those emotions to come up, for those feelings and ideas and thoughts to come up. Because sometimes life will, in a crazy, funny, weird way, invite you to go through experiences to bring up things within you that might have been ignored, suppressed. And it's perfect. When you look back, I love the quote by Steve Jobs, like, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. And that's how we learn, that's how we grow, that's how we become who we're meant to become. I went through all those painful things because it was a lot of painful things combined together at the same period of time. And that's just a percentage of what happened. What I mentioned was just a small percentage of everything going on. But I needed to go through it. I needed to feel that way. I needed to go through the experience of feeling so lonely, feeling so afraid, feeling so concerned, and all this stuff. And here's what I realized after a while. And I think it was Jeff Foster that said this. When you break up with someone or someone breaks up with you, don't break up with yourself. Don't break up with yourself after that. Because I completely ignored myself and I was looking for the next person. I was looking for the next person to bring me out of that pain. I was looking for the next person to rescue me from that pain. I didn't want to feel lonely. I didn't want to be by myself. But life was insisting that I go through that for my own evolution, for my own journey. So I like what he said, don't break up with yourself. I also like what Matt Kahn says. When you're going through something like that, you need more love, not less. After a breakup, you need more love, not less. So yes, you're gonna judge yourself, you're gonna criticize yourself, you're gonna feel like the things that you did were the reason for that breakup. Maybe you feel like what you did was the reason why the relationship didn't work. Why you were not happy, why the other person wasn't happy, why things were not working out, why you argued so much. You're gonna feel responsible for it, you're gonna feel like it was your fault, you're gonna feel like you could have done something differently, you're gonna feel like you should have done something differently. You're gonna blame yourself. And that might be exactly what you need to go through. But now, every time that you learn something new insight, new awareness, you can look at it from a different perspective. I always say we all have our own specific pair of glasses where we see the world through. I see the world through my own glasses. You have your own set of glasses. Throughout life, when you learn something new, you have a new insight, you have a new aha moment, have a new experience that gives you new wisdom. You now have a new pair of glasses. So with the ideas that I share in this video, whether you know it or not, you're probably changing your set of glasses. You have a new way of looking at things. So when you're feeling lonely, when you go through a breakup, you need more love, not less. And I like the idea that sometimes we argue with life. We try to negotiate with life. But we can't bypass, we can't skip, we can't avoid the experience that life is insisting that you go through. Not even like life is inviting you to go through this. No, life is insisting that you go through this right now. And there's a reason why. And please don't start with that BS about karma, because I'm gonna make a video on that. Someone told me in a very negative way, like maybe I deserve this, maybe it's karma. Come on, be a little kinder to yourself, be a little more compassionate to yourself. I always like this kind of filter. There's a thing online, that a meme that goes all over the place about the Buddhist, like 3 filters, like, is it helpful? I forget those 3 right now, but I'm gonna give you one that is very helpful. As you know, I talk a lot about the inner child and healing the inner child, and of course we all have wounds inside of us that our inner child went through that are not healed yet, maybe. And we can't ignore the fact that we all have an inner child. You were a child in the past. We can't ignore the fact. And if you don't believe in it, it's okay. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, but just consider this idea. If a kid, and ideally someone that you love, like whether it's your own child or nephew, niece, a friend's kid, like someone that you love, like a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid comes to you crying in pain, telling you what they have just gone through, would you tell that kid, oh honey, it's just karma, maybe you deserve this? That's what that person told me. Maybe I deserve this. Would you say that to a 5-year-old who's crying and just wants a hug? Would you say to that kid, oh, maybe it's karma? Don't say that to yourself. So you need more love, not less. I love this topic. I could talk about this for hours. I'll make more videos, so make sure you're subscribed and turn your notifications on. But please remember this. No one, past, present, or future, no one is gonna be able to love you the way you need to be loved, because it can only come from you. I know that's a corny shit that everyone says, but it's true. It's true. We keep looking for that from the outside. We keep looking for it from other people. And I struggle with this. I go back and forth. I struggle. But it's not sustainable. It's not a healthy way to live our lives when we're just looking for other people, for the love that we can't give ourselves. Take it just step by step. It's a long journey. I have a shitload of tools on how to love yourself deeper. I have a free resource. The link is below. On very powerful tools and mindset shifts and ideas on how to love yourself at a much deeper level. Check out the link. I have a ton of videos. But now is the time for you to make yourself the biggest priority, to give yourself your energy and time and attention, to give yourself the love that you've given everyone else except yourself. Can you be more loving to yourself than you've ever been? Can you become for yourself the partner that you've always wished you had? Check out one of these videos. I think they'll help. I'll see you in that video.